Another live stream of Dungeons. Sorry of all the arguing in the last live stream, but anybody is welcome, and anybody that thought they got kicked when I lost connection, any of those people are welcome to join too. But whoever does watch, I hope you guys all enjoy the stream. I don't really know how long I'm going to stream for.
And more than half the world had already been taken. If we waited for the coming of the hero, there wouldn't be much of a world left for him to save. Fortunately, I had a plan. When I was young, I hoped to earn a class like warrior or barbarian. Who didn't want to hit people with a giant sword? And they had some great advanced classes too. But I wasn't born particularly strong. Or fast. Or, if I'm being honest,
and the story you're hearing in the background is how to kill a demon king in 10 easy steps. It's a fantasy book, and it's on Audible.
In spite of the humble sounding name, it's one of the strongest classes to start with. Enough so that some people might take extreme steps to try to earn it. No, I didn't do anything dark and murderous. I like my parents. I did, however, briefly ask Mom to visit me so I could get a shot at the muscle. No, dear. I'm not going to disown you and put you out on the street to get a class. That would be terribly irresponsible. But Mom, it probably wouldn't take more than a few days for me to be eligible. Mom gave me a withering look, folding her arms. Absolutely. No. And I will hear nothing more of the matter. A few minutes later, my next conversation began with, "So, Daddy, I was wondering if you could defend me a little." He called it pleasure, but he was similarly unconvinced. Much of my childhood. I remember hearing a lot of things like, "No, dear, I don't believe that giving you a miniature village and burning it down would count as a tragic backstory." Absolutely not, sweetie. We are not renaming you Hero to try to fool the goddesses. No reasonable person would be fooled like that, and the goddesses certainly wouldn't be either. We are not buying a farm to get you the farmer class. So no. To go work on a farm, you can do that. You are most definitely not the missing child of a deposed royal bloodline. And we are not spreading rumors to that effect to try to get you a secret princess class. I'm not even sure if that's the class. I can't see why it would be. No, dear. I don't believe that clearing our house of kingdom would earn you the normal princess class either. They actually humored me and tried that one, declaring loudly the founding of our house to the world. Thankfully, nothing happened. I pushed for them to get some paperwork signed to authenticate our newly founded kingdom, but that was apparently a step too far. I wish I'd be disappointed by all that, but really, it just gave me fuel for more ideas. And in spite of many false starts, I eventually found one that worked. For certain values, of course. Anyway, from the age of 9 onward, I wore a backpack all the time. For 8 years, I hauled things around for friends, family, and eventually as a part-time job, until finally I unlocked the right class. While that might sound like something to do to unlock an explorer class, and indeed there is one with similar requirements, I was shooting for something a lot less popular. The illustrious Bag Mage. No, not Blue Mage. Bag Mage. Doesn't sound very impressive, does it? Bag mages generally have one function in society: hauling goods long distances. They often serve as assistants to merchants. Some merchants even multi-class into it, if they're too poor to afford a bag mage of their own. But most of them won't admit to it. Nobles will often employ a bag mage or two to haul their stuff around when they go on vacations or that sort of thing. Umbrellas, tents, all those things that you might expect a pack animal to carry. bag mages. If you're thinking that sounds like a cross between a wizard and a mule, you have the right idea about where we tend to fit into society. By the way, bag mage isn't even the easiest magic-using class to unlock. I could have gotten a traditional fire mage class by starting a bunch of fires, for example, in a much smaller time frame. Similarly, all I would have needed for a life mage class was to spend a lot of time mending plants, animals, and people. So, why'd I want to be a bag mage when I could have worked to get something more impressive sounding with much less effort? Well, bag mages have one particularly useful ability. Influence. The ability to...
A coven of wicked witches live at the heart of the sinister swamp. They conjure up all manner of ruse to empower the Arch-Illager and his ever-growing army. If you don't find and defeat those witches, the Illagers will be unstoppable. But tread carefully. The swamp is home to many horrors.
A novice bag mage has such a small inventory that it barely has any use. At the start, the most I could store was 4 large rocks, one in each of my 4 inventory slots. Fortunately, I only needed to store 1 thing in order to get my plan started. Upon obtaining my class, I was finally ready to test the first stage of my plan. For this, I had to travel to the Sword Shrine. The Sword Shrine was the location that housed the Currently, it was a popular tourist destination. The kingdom charged a small fee for anyone to enter and try to brawl there, which was, of course, supposed to be impossible.
Ouch.
Like 20 times. On the positive side, it gave me a chance to test my skills without having to do anything too shitty, like sneaking in during the middle of the night. But I was grateful I didn't have to resort to such tactics. At least I stayed in and waited in line. In fact, I wondered absently if anyone had ever tried to pry it off. Defying the Demon King and striking him down. Ahead of me, several small children seemed to share the same notion. I was mildly embarrassed, but still determined. A huge young guy walked up to me, gripped the blade. He braced himself and yanked on the hilt, slightly and he said, activate strength of steel. As his skin shifted to metallic color and sheen, he activated one of the abilities granted by the power. The look of him and the name of the skill,
Yeah, it's a high level.
powerful skill. I bet he could have cracked ordinary stone or metal with his bare hands. This was no ordinary blade, and the enchantments that held it were divine. It would take more than brute strength to tear it free. Stronger people had tried and failed. I gave him a nod of approval, though, even as his skill ended and he turned away in failure, allowing the next person to step up to the pedestal. His thought process was not dissimilar to my own, even if he'd taken a more direct approach than I Minutes passed. I waited my turn, feeling my shoulders tighten and my stomach churn. Could this possibly work? Was I a fool for even trying? With desperate hope and determination, I suppressed my anxiety and stepped up to the platform. I rested my hands on the grip of the sword, imagining the struggles of heroes long ago. And with a word, I pronounced my intent. Inventory. There was a brief shimmer from the blade. And then...
Your inventory skill level is too low to store this item.
The message appeared in the midst of my vision. It wasn't one I'd seen before, but I understood the meaning. I had failed. But in spite of that, I felt my lips curl up in a smile. I released the grip of the sword and made my way out of the sword shrine. Skill levels could be earned. Now, I had work to do. Step 2. Unlock your latent heroic power. In order to improve my inventory's functionality, I had to make use of it. That's how skills tend to work in general. Use them enough, and they get better. Use it a whole bunch, and it might even unlock new skills, or improve into an advanced skill if it reaches the maximum skill level. Notably, skill levels increase independently of your overall personal level. They're purely use-based. For example, a fire mage who sits around in town and lights things on fire can increase their fire magic skill. This is, however, relatively slow for a couple reasons. First, because skills increase much more slowly if they do not have a valid target. For fire magic, that means the fire mage would have to actually burn things. And when you burn things that aren't yours, that's arson, kids. Second, unless you're doing some really good arson, meaning burning high-level stuff,
all apocalypse
raising
are
skill is
open.
a slow rush. The higher level your target
Not
for
good.
a skill, the faster your skill increases. This is why most adventurers raise their attack focus skills by fighting monsters. They can do so without having to worry about being arrested. Sparring works to some degree, but just hitting someone with fire doesn't get you much of a reward unless they're significantly hurt. And that gets awkward. Anyway, I digress. The second problem is fire magic uses mana, a limited resource. Everyone has a little bit of mana flowing in their body. It's an ephemeral power that is used to power spells and skills, each consuming a different amount of mana. Generally, the higher the level of spell or skill, the more
I'm just
mana
gonna have to go through with it.
Using too much mana causes exhaustion. Eventually, if you run out entirely, you simply stop being able to use spells and skills until you rest and recover. If I'd started out as a fire mage, I might have been able to throw 3 or so fire spells before I had to rest for a significant period of time. A higher level fire mage would have more mana to work with, and thus be able to cast more spells.
I'm actually really kind of curious why it's a 3 now.
Would require going out and fighting monsters. Fighting monsters when you can only cast 3 spells at a time is, of course, super dangerous. And also extremely tedious. My dear, sweet inventory didn't have those problems. Any object that I wanted to put into my inventory was a valid target for raising my skill. And inventory didn't cost any mana. Putting items into my inventory was nearly instant, and so was taking them out. You probably see where this is going. Each day and night after unlocking the class, whenever I had free time...
Yeah, I'm doing the default settings instead of the advanced settings, but I'm actually going after another Ender Eye.
Representing the items in my inventory space. If I wanted to add an item to my inventory, I needed to touch it and speak the appropriate phrase. If I wanted to remove an item, I could either speak the appropriate phrase...
Deep within these halls awaits a powerful necromancer, the forgotten ruler of a nameless kingdom. The necromancer wields an enchanted staff It holds the power to
But
summon the
anybody is
undead.
welcome to
We
join
must
my
destroy
online
it
session
before
if
the
anybody wants to
Arch-Illager can
join me
claim it
on
in his tiny evil
Minecraft
hands.
Dungeons.
But that would surely be the doom of us all.
It may have been a slightly maniacal laugh. I am not ashamed. My parents may have given me some worried looks, though. Remove rocks. Add rocks. And so I continued. Every time my bad magic skill increased, my number of inventory slots increased. With a skill level of 2, I now had 8 slots available. I experimented with many other mundane objects around the household, both to alleviate my boredom and to try to determine what would increase my skill level the best. My parents were somewhat confused by my hobby, but supportive. You need to take notes if you're going to be testing your skill game. Father explained to me. Here. He pushed over a stool and parchment. As soon as you get to your next skill level, start counting. I'm already counting. In my head, I have literally nothing better to do. Notes, a pattern will most closely emerge. From there, we can get into efficiency testing. I nodded to him. Mother was a merchant, and father was a retired scholar. Mother made the real money in the family, but father and he was good at it. He always had a head for numbers, and I'd like to think I inherited just a bit of it, enough to understand the idea and to do it practically. As I continued the process, I followed his advice. Took meticulous notes on the number of
Hello? Hey, Mom. What's up? Yeah, I am. What time? Because the cleaning lady is coming around 9 o'clock and I don't have, the 50 to pay her.
I already paid her.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick you up at noon.
Alrighty then. So, that sounds like a plan.
Okay, make sure that you have, bring like, shirt if you have one or jacket.
Alright.
Yeah, you don't have to bring, and you don't need to bring all of your stuff in your backpack, all of your games and stuff.
No, if anything, I'll probably just bring one, and that's where my Switch comes in handy to take for just doing stuff when there isn't anything, like at nighttime or something like that, because it's portable. I'm not bringing all the big stuff.
Okay. And also, could you shave first, please?
Alright.
And maybe clean your cat box out and make sure she has food and water. Dad's gonna come over one day and feed her.
Alright.
On Sunday and feed her.
Alrighty then.
Okay. And see if you can clean up your house a little bit before the cleaning lady gets there.
I will.
Okay. Alright, I don't think you need too much to take. If you have maybe maybe an extra pair of shoes in case one gets wet from the beach.
I only have my work shoes and then my blue walking shoes.
Okay, then you might want to bring your work shoes too.
Alright.
So, I don't know if you have a book on rocks and stuff.
I do.
I want to do that. Right now, for the Oregon coast kind of stuff.
Yeah, I actually do.
They have Jasper.
Alright.
So go ahead and look it up.
I believe I have 2 rock books.
Good. Good, bring them.
Alright.
Okay. See you then.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, honey.
Bye, Mom. This night mode is causing me some issues.
found myself completely exhausted and needed to rest. It's like traveling through I saw a message that said, doing that, as well as storing more I headed back to the storage room, nervously packing and storing things in my inventory. I don't know capital, where the storage time slowly The fact that I couldn't see my surroundings was pretty bad too. But breathing is even more important. Numbness was rapidly spreading across my skin, and that scary cold was slowly filling my nose, eyes, and relax there. I rolled around for a moment, and my arm hit something hard. I could feel something, at least. That pain gave me the gripping the object. After a moment of confusion, I understood the void. I opened my eyes, feeling frigid air enter, and pulled into the oppressive darkness. Remove all inventory. Even as I did, something shift. Then, I myself back in the storage room. The last difference has coughed and choked. Among the priests of the shrine, at least handle of them, actual practitioners of divine magic. I felt someone put their hands on my head, and heard a man's voice say, "Let her heal." A warmth spread across my body. It was a blissful sensation, trained them down for years. Sure, try to blow up the altar now and then. Alas and alack, none can challenge the Demon King without the hero. So it is written, and so it shall always be. Is that really such a certainty, though, my friend? I mean, haven't some other adventurers gotten close to beating him? There are scattered tales, to be certain. But I'm afraid neither of us is quite the right person for the job. We're dressed entirely wrong for it, for one. What if that happens?
Man, I'm doing horrible tonight on this.
It's well known.
Well, I think I'll just stop my live stream here. Everybody have a nice night, alright?
And neither of us is properly dressed for such